Hello everyone, and welcome to Zero Plays Thomas Was Alone. Today, I really wanted to play this game, and I figured I'd share it with you. I actually had another game in mind, but it'll be put on post while I contact the developers to make sure I have permission to use it. In the meantime, I will be using this beauty because I actually really enjoy this game. I haven't beat it per se, but I got pretty far in it on my other computer, and then I switched to this one. And I'm like, oh hey, I really want to play this game, and it tends to make me mad. And then I remember faintly Fear saying, wow, you should really record it. And I got really pissed off one time. Like, Sil got very, very worried about me. She said, baby, you should just put the game down. I won't put the game down until I finish this fucking level. Yeah, it got really, really bad. So I wanted you to join me with this. Whether or not it becomes a full Let's Play, I think it will, probably. I think I'd enjoy it if it was, or maybe I'll do a highlight. Don't find it enough. But it's a really great game, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, despite how much I get pissed off. Let's go. The program was a failure. People forgot this. It was a massive flop. The coders started adding name strings to AIs as jokes. Thomas AT23612 wasn't special. He's just an AI.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought.
Very weird one. You could probably guess, but the premise is you bring this little guy and you put him in the box. And it's narrative.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity.
Very observant fellow.
1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
He's a good little guy. Ah, Thomas is so cute. Woo!
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump.
Thomas got it! Oh my gosh, he's brilliant.
It worked.
Oops. Sorry, Thomas.
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
The world's nice sometimes.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment.
Okay,
He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose.
oh my.
Paranoia.
Of course. On my first playthrough, there was actually something in the water over here. Don't see it here now, though. No, 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 Thomas, run for your life! You can do it! Woo!
Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important. It might have been paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills.
It's just teaching us, Thomas.
It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No.
Far too obvious for the observant Thomas. Boop, 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 boop. Pass through the respawn points to save character's progress.
Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it. He made another mental note. 4. Water. Not good. To be avoided.
He's a smart little lad, ain't he?
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
Thomas is alone, and that makes Thomas very sad. One day, Thomas, one day, you will not be quite so alone.
Thomas had a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had
someone to evolve with him. I understand the feels. It's okay, Thomas. You will get there. You will have your happy. Okay, Thomas? Woo! Yeah! There's been hundreds of bug reports that told the day this happened. Overlapping scripts. All the error bound to spawn in an environment at some point. Turns out I missed the point. The little error changed everything.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
Thomas thought he was pretty cool. Hi! I'm Thomas. I'm not alone anymore. Yeah, well, take that. I'm gonna jump on you. Bam. Chris has issues with being short. He don't like it.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times.
Times, no.
Well, not actually. Not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but, you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Oop. Woo! First miss of many. I'm coming, Chris. Hi. Yeah. Wow! Fall, man! Fall like the wind! Ooh, that was a pretty big one. Ooh. I really like that sound. Actually, it kind of reminds me of the sound of shooting zombies in Oregon Trail. Just randomly occurs to me. Oh man, we gotta get up there. How are we gonna do it?
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing. What would it do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him?
Stairs! Something you need a tall person to get to.
Great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile. Was this good? Because On the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure. Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, to ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
Actually, I believe he can make it just jumping. I've done it before. See? Beautiful. And this one is annoying. I remember I fucked this one up a lot. And then I get it on the first try. Sweet! I mean, I never failed that one ever. What are you guys talking about? Me mess up a putt? What? No!
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot.
See anything I need to grab up here?
He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
We're still friends, Chris! Whee! Yeah! I'm on top of the world! Yeah! Oh my! A new one!
John knew. He knew that this was his chance. A moment to shine. This was game day.
John's a bit of a jock. You might notice. Hey. Jock, you kinda suck. Woo! I'm super bouncy! I forgot I have to push more now. I am gonna have to do that, I thought so. Come on. It's okay, Chris. Oh! That works too.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things. Where'd they come from, anyway?
Yeah, he's a bit arrogant too. It's one of those.
John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome.
Oh, so it smelt of John.
Time to flex those muscles, to put his training to use.
What?
Time to
What?
show those little dots how
Well,
it was
yeah.
done. John decided to press the switch to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies. You could tell from the sympathetic expression he'd practiced in the mirror all these years.
Such a caring sir. So thoughtful. victory! Wow! I'm gonna have to help Thomas over the top of that. He's right, Chris! Boop, boop. The roles have turned. Dang it, he was so close. Get on in there, hun. There we go. And then we have this guy. Boop. John. How very John of you. John, you can jump off the top of these things. Alright, I guess I'm gonna need you too, Chris. Get over here, honey.
John was happy to keep helping. He felt it was important to his image that he was seen to help the little guys.
Oh my gosh, love how quite literal that is. That is quite exceptionally wonderful. And then we have the cell phone bars lining up. Ooh. Here. Actually, yes, you need to move over. There you go. Come on, Thomas, you gotta help him too, again. Uh-oh. Dang it. Chris, why didn't you jump? You ruined it all. Seriously. Oh yeah. Look at John go. And then we're gonna boost our little Chris up. And he's gonna need a Thomas. Not you. Thomas needs you. Get Chris, John. Ugh, get off him. Thank you. Now Chris, you get up there. Now Thomas, you help him get up there. Good boy.
He didn't mind them so much either. The red one, Thomas, had a charming way of applauding every time John jumped.
Of course he'd enjoy that.
The angry orange one was less immediately likeable, but his unremitting cynicism and tutting amused John.
Oh my gosh. Chris would not appreciate that description at all. Yeah! Thomas's turn. Come on, baby, you can do it. Wow! Ew. Now, I'm gonna need you to move, John. Thank you, honey. Chris needs to get on top of you. Oh wow, he can't actually get up that? Yeah. Nope. I had faith in you, don't worry. It's the whole time. wow, you actually can't make that all on your own. You could make it with a little help from Chris, but... And there's that. Ah, Chris made it. And then John is going to make it. And then we'll get our little Thomas baby in. Oh, it's so simple and relaxing. Just... I love the soundtrack.
This was interesting. A floating target. This would require coordination, balance, and timing.
This would.
John was sure the dots would be lost, but he was happy to guide them to triumph.
Oh, dang it, Chris. You guys have to argue with everything I plan on doing, Chris. Come on, get over here. I had one to make it far more entertaining and jumpy, but this works too. Get on up.
Maybe that's what the dots were for. They were there to extend John's reach, to make his performance even more impressive. John liked the thought. He decided to keep them.
Aren't they so cute, little baby pets? They make me so much better. Oh my goodness.